Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and I helped somebody create this the other day, and I thought I'd share the file, so I put this file right here, blank, with the 2020 in it, and then you could remove that, and I'll try to show you how to do that too. But it's under Corel File Share, under the File section, just called Christmas Tree. But I thought I'd show, so you're going to get a blank one with no names, so we're going to take this and we're going to left click, right click, and make sure it's a hairline. And then we're going to scale them down just a little bit. And we're going to go Control K to break them apart. But now we're going to use text to path. And we want to see how big this thing is. I've made it a little bit smaller for an ornament type deal, and you could make it actually smaller still. But it's like almost 7 inches, so we're going to change our nudge factor to 8. And we're going to make a duplicate of that, and we're going to move it over. And then here's kind of the secret to this deal. If you take it and take a 2-point line and go from like right there to right there and right there to right there, or thereabout, then take your virtual segment delete key and delete everything but those lines. And you'll see in just a second what I'm trying to do. And this will help you text a path on that tree. So we want to take away every other line because we want this line, but we don't need that line. We want that line, we don't need that line, we don't need that line. So basically you're just trying to get to the bottom line. And we need to take away that line. Well, maybe not. Take away that line. So it all depends on how many names you're going to have. And then you can take away this line. But if you look at them with your shape tool, and if we select them all, they're going from left to right. And I've actually got some extra nodes because I just cleaned it up so we could delete some of these nodes. Didn't really change the path too much. But we want them to go left to right. So just you've got them all selected, and right click your mouse and change reverse subpath, and now the arrows are going to the right. I'm going to go ahead and delete a couple of those nodes. Now bring in your text. And the only kind of downside, you can't really put them in an order. You've got to have the smaller name up top. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take that text and go up to text and fit text to path and have it fit on that path. And you see the red line, that means it's in the center. We're going to grab the next name. It doesn't really matter what order because they're all about the same. We're going to go to text to path, and we're going to put on this line. And if you see that red line appear, it means it's in the center, or you can always move it over one way or the other. We'll just do that for the other names. Text to path, whoop, back up here. Let's get it closer to the name, or closer to our path, and then put it on that path. And then do one more name, text to path, and put it on. Okay, see, I've got a problem. I must have missed that one. Yeah, see, I did not have that selected when I reversed the path. What that's going to do is going to try to put it upside down. Text to path, put it on that path. And then here's kind of the key. I would take all these and go up to Object and break the 5 elements apart. Now we can actually go to Group and break the curve apart to get rid of these lines that we do not need. And I'm going to set my nudge factor on something else, but remember that it's 8 inches right now. So we're going to set the nudge factor on 0.01, and we're going to nudge Ben down a little bit. We're going to nudge Patty down a little bit. We're going to nudge Paula down a little bit. So I'm just 2 clicks. Now we can take away these lines. And we can set our nudge factor back on 8 inches. And we can select the names and put them left button, left arrow. Linda's a little bit too far down, so you can always move it up. That may be because I changed the curve a little bit. So you can put her name a little bit higher. You just kind of want it all where it's going to weld, and the A doesn't really weld, but you can always left click in it and just kind of rotate her name a little bit. You just want everything below that line. We've still got our nudge factor set low, so we'll bring Paula up a little bit, bring Patty up a little bit. And then that's probably because of the fact that I took out some of those nodes. Whoop. And then you can, Ben is actually going to be on both lines. That doesn't really hurt. And let's then nudge him up just a little bit. So he's going to be welded on both lines. And then just take it, select it all, and weld it. And then if you look at it in a fill, that's what it's going to look like. And of course, you could always move them over and put them more equally than I did. Now, let's say you have this file and you like it, still have the Smart Fill tool, but you're going to use it another year, or you don't like the 2020. Well, you can remove that 2020 without having to redraw the whole tree. Let's get our 3-point line, and let's go from that node to that node, and then almost go to that line, or right at it. Go from that node to that node and just go kind of in the center, kind of go right there. Now take your virtual segment delete key and delete this. We haven't really changed anything too much. And then take your Smart Fill tool, fill that in, and you've got a brand new one for the next year, or if you want to say Merry Christmas, and then just left click, right click, and you have a whole new tree. Anyway, just go to File Share, Corel Draw File Share, and it's under the file. I saved it in X3 so more people can use it. Hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.